You know, when you picture an ancient food, something that's been made pretty much the same way for centuries, the last thing you probably think of is a high-tech revolution. But that is exactly what's happening with jaggery, all because one engineer decided to completely reinvent this ancient sweet.
No, really, just for a second, what image pops into your head when you think about how this traditional, unrefined sugar gets made? What do you see?
And yeah, if you're picturing something like this, you're not wrong. This is the classic image most of us have, right? It's rustic, it's traditional, it feels really close to the earth, a craft passed down for generations.
Okay, but now, what if we just tossed that rustic image out the window and replaced it with this, a shiny, efficient, and super clean factory? This isn't some far-off idea. It's a real thing happening right now, and it's a change that could impact, well, pretty much everything.
So, to really get why this revolution is so important, we have to dig into the problems with the old way, because it turns out that rustic isn't always as wholesome as it sounds.
The single biggest difference, the real game changer, it all comes down to the heat. Traditionally, you've got this brute force method, a direct fire roaring under these huge iron pans. It's totally uncontrolled. The new way? It uses indirect steam inside a completely closed system. That means gentle, precise control over the temperature.
And when I say direct fire, I'm not kidding around. We are talking about flames that can hit between 700 and 900 degrees Celsius. That is unbelievably hot, and it's literally scorching the juice that's sitting just millimeters away on the other side of that pan.
And that crazy, uncontrolled heat, well, it kicks off this whole terrible domino effect. Those high temps can actually form carcinogens like acrylamide. The iron from the pans leaches right into the food, and that intense heat, it completely destroys the very nutrients, the good stuff, the vitamins and antioxidants that make jaggery healthy in the first place. On top of all that, chemicals are often added to get the right color. And when fuel runs low, some people even burn tires and plastic, which is just awful for air quality.
It's a pretty grim picture, right? But this is where our story takes a turn, all thanks to an engineer who looked at this ancient problem and saw a clean, modern, and honestly, an elegant solution.
So let's meet the guy who changed everything. Ajit Dadanavar. With his background in chemical engineering, he wasn't just seeing a traditional craft. He was seeing an inefficient, outdated chemical process that was just begging for an upgrade.
And this was his aha moment. He saw the super advanced systems used to make refined white sugar, and he asked a really simple question. Why can't we use that same precision to make wholesome, unrefined jaggery? His whole idea was to do it all in a closed stainless steel system and to use a vacuum to keep the temperatures way down.
So he didn't just have the idea, he went and built it, the world's first modern jaggery factory. But how in the world does this incredible process actually work? Let's take a look.
The whole system is just clean. It's a contained, highly engineered process from start to finish. You can forget everything you thought you knew about open fires and those big iron pans. So let's break down what's happening here.
Okay, so the whole thing boils down to 4 key stages. First, the cane gets crushed to get the juice. Simple enough. Second, the juice is clarified, but, and this is important, they only use natural plant-based clarifiers like okra extract, no harsh chemicals. Third, and this is the magic step, the water is evaporated off under a vacuum. And finally, you get the pure, finished product. But here's the real secret sauce, the genius part of the whole setup. It's called the multi-effect evaporator. It's this brilliant energy recycling system. So steam heats the juice in the first container. The vapor that boils off that juice is then captured and used to heat the juice in the next container. And this just keeps repeating, recycling the same energy over and over. It's incredibly efficient.
All right, so all this engineering is seriously impressive, but what are the actual results? What does it all mean? Well, they are nothing short of revolutionary, both for the jaggery itself and for the planet.
I mean, just look at this comparison. It's night and day. The maximum temperature of the product itself drops from 120 degrees Celsius down to just 80. The amount of labor needed plummets from 15 or 20 workers to just 4. The fuel is cut in half, and there's no need for burning polluting stuff. Contaminants? Gone. And the shelf life? It goes from a few months to over 3 years. Wow.
Let's just pause on that fuel number for a second. A 50% reduction. That is huge. By recycling all that steam, the factory only needs to use the sugarcane waste, that's called bagasse, from half the cane it actually processes. That means no more burning tires, no more nasty pollution, and a much, much smaller carbon footprint.
And a shelf life of over 3 years? That is just astonishing. And it's a direct result of the super hygienic closed process and the fact that the final product has such low moisture. This completely transforms Jaggery from a local, seasonal product into something that can be stored and even exported all year long.
So at the end of the day, what this process creates is just a fundamentally better food, period. Because the juice never gets scorched, it holds on to its natural vitamins and antioxidants. Because there are no chemicals, it's pure and organic. It's a true superfood, totally reimagined for the 21st century.
So this one factory proved that it could be done. But the vision here is, it's way, way bigger than just a single building. This is about empowering whole communities.
And this is Ajit Dodnavar's ultimate goal. He's not trying to keep this technology to himself. He wants to share it. He wants farmers to team up, form cooperatives, and build these factories in their own villages. This way, they can take control of their own product and create a higher value, healthier food for the entire world.
When you boil it all down, this story just shows how a fresh perspective on a problem that's thousands of years old can lead to incredible innovation. And it really makes you wonder, what other ancient traditions out there are just waiting for their own modern revolution?